Good evening. Welcome to the public board meeting of School District 72 Campbell River on this November 26th, 2024. I'd like to acknowledge that School District 72 operates through a large geographic area. The school board office and our Campbell River schools are located on the traditional territories of the Lilliput Nations, the Weevilcum and the Weevilkai, as well as our school on Quadra on that of the Weevilkai Nations. We also have schools on Cortez of the Klahoos Nations, in Comox or in Sayward of the Comox Nations, and also in Butte Inlet, which are the Homolko First Nations. We would like to honor our relationships with all First Nations in our school district, and thank you for entrusting the education of your children to our system. So for chairperson's remarks this evening, prior to Thursday, I had much different remarks planned, but I would be remiss not to discuss what happened on Thursday evening at Carihi Secondary. It was an extraordinary event, and as extraordinary events often bring out the very best in teams, the fire at Carihi in the late hours of Thursday evening is one of those examples. As soon as, I would like to celebrate our grief counselors who were available at Robron Center as early as Friday morning and did stay throughout the weekend to provide grief supports to both staff, students, and parents as we navigated the weekend together. I'd also like to very officially celebrate our maintenance and QP staff for being ready and on call as soon as they were offered the opportunity to get into the Carihi building in the areas that weren't impacted by the fire to begin the cleaning process in hopes to get students back into the building as soon as possible. I need to celebrate our senior leadership team. We were in Vancouver. The majority of us were in Vancouver when the fire broke out. And I have to really celebrate the balancing act that all of our senior leadership team did in managing the situation, both here locally and from afar. Thank you very much. And thank you to our communications manager for keeping the community and press up to date. I'd also like to, of course, celebrate our amazing emergency response crews. I just heard this evening that we were up to 100 emergency response crew members at this site, fighting the fire, trying to keep it as contained as possible. Thank you from every parent and family member of Campbell River to the Campbell River Fire Department, to Cumberland, to Oyster River, and to Courtenay Fire Departments for helping to alleviate and bring their trucks in to fight that fire. We were, as mentioned, we were away this past week at the BCSTA School Trustees Academy, the title of which was Illuminate. But we were we had lots of information shared with us regarding street data and gathering student voice and the importance of hearing from the diverse voices of our school districts. Thank you to the BCSTA for once again hosting a great event, and over to Superintendent Manning.
Thank you, Chair Reddy. Appreciate all those words. I echo all of the thanks regarding the Carihi fire. Just tremendous support both in the local community and provincially. I did want to just give a brief fire update to the board just on where we are with plans, because we had the immediate response. And then comes all the planning that goes into looking ahead and seeing where to now. Hats off to the Carihi staff for coming together and really trying to focus on students and putting students first and making sure that we have a plan in place for next Monday. And we are hopeful that we will get the readings done that we need to be able to habitate the building. We hope that's going to be done on Thursday, and then staff will come to Carihi Friday, and then students will come next Monday and fully participate in school. That's all the students. We cannot accommodate 100% of the students at Carihi, so our plan is to accommodate as many as possible at Carihi and then move out to other buildings in the community. And we've also procured Oyster River Elementary School as a site that will take up to 6 classrooms. So we are looking forward to that. Our crews are working diligently right now to try to put that into place, to get it all up and ready, to get the right equipment in, so teachers can go on Friday and check out the workspace and welcome students on Monday. So thanks to everyone who has worked so diligently behind the scenes to make all of that happen. But we are still waiting for the final reports on the investigation from the fire department and the RCMP. And when we have that information, we will share it at that time. Moving on to non-fire related items. Just wanted to remind everybody that the school year continues to progress along. We just completed marking all of the grade 4, grade 7 FSAs recently, just last week. So we will have those results sometime soon. We'll be sharing it with the board and the district. Part of the BCSTA event that Chair Eddie was mentioning was actually celebrating one of our staff members, a staff member at Carihi, who presented all about inclusion and diversity and what it's like to be an autistic teacher in the school district. She did an amazing job, presented to every trustee in the province and all 60 school districts. So we're very proud of her. That's Natalie Red Wolf Pogue at Carihi. So thank you once again, Natalie, for that awesome presentation. Also wanted to congratulate Audrey Wilson of Likudo Family Life, who recently received the BC Principals and Vice Principals Award for her good work that she does locally here in the community, working with families, students, children who need extra support. So really appreciate all the work that Audrey does, and it's nice to see her getting acknowledged by an association like the BC PVPA. And I think that's good.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Manning. Moving forward to approval of the minutes of the meeting of November 5th, and the motion reads that the minutes of the meeting of November 5th, 2024 are hereby approved as circulated. Moved by Trustee Gladish, seconded by Trustee Harper. All those in favor? So moved. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Seeing none, are there any additions or alterations to the agenda? Again, seeing none. And moving forward to the motion that the agenda is hereby approved as circulated. May I have a mover? Trustee Gillis, seconded by Trustee McMahon. All those in favor? Thank you. Report of board decisions from the confidential meeting of November 26th. Vice Chair Gillis.
Dealt with teaching, administrative and support staff changes, and property, legal and financial issues.
Thank you, Vice Chair Gillis. Moving through correspondence, public submissions, and agenda and educational submissions, and seeing none, we're moving down to 12A, which are electorate and board matters. So board committee appointments for December 1st, 2024 to November 30th, 25, Vice Chair Gillis.
Yes, we have before us a group of committee appointments for this year, and we'll ask that those be approved as presented.
Excellent. And the committees will be posted to our website. So those committees will appear on our website under board committees, under the board section on the SB 72 website, and they don't require a motion for acceptance. And on to nominations for the 2 provincial positions that are nominated from the board table. The first being the BCPC representative. And at this time, I will step aside from the chair and pass it to Vice Chair Gillis.
So I call now for nominations for the board's representative to the British Columbia Public School Employers Association for 2025. Do we have a nomination? Any nominations?
I'll nominate Trustee Eddie.
It's
okay. Yes, there. I was getting there.
You've got a long meeting.
I know, yeah.
Trustee Eddie has been nominated to the position of board representative for the BCPC for 2025. Are there, and do you accept the nomination?
I do, thank you.
Are there any further nominations? Okay, hearing none, no further nominations. I declare trustee Eddie elected by acclamation. There are no ballots to destroy. We'll move on to nomination for the alternate in this position, the BCPC representative for school district 2025. Hearing nomination. Thank you.
Oh, I nominate trustee Gladys.
Trustee Gladish, thank you. Trustee Gladish, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Are there any other further nominations? Therefore, I declare trustee Gladish as the the alternate for the BCPC 2025 position. When do I get to do this?
You can do it.
Yeah, meeting's over.
Oh, let's see, in Rotary, it's a bell, so I'm not used to that. So I now call for nominations for the board's provincial council representative for the British Columbia School Trustees Association, the BCSTA for 2025. Are any nominations? Yes,
I'll nominate Craig Gillis.
Craig Gillis has been nominated to the position of board representative, BCSTA for 2025. Do you accept? Yes, you do.
Get silly.
We've had a long meeting. Are there any further nominations? Hearing no further nominations, I declare Craig Gillis elected by acclamation as the board's representative to the BC STA Provincial Council for 2025. We now call for nominations for the alternate. Yes,
I'll nominate trustee McMahon.
trustee McMahon, do you accept?
I do.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? Hearing none, I declare that trustee Rose McMahon will serve as alternate. And we jobs included, and I'll hand the gavel back to Chair Eddie.
Thank you, Vice Chair Gillis, and thank you to everyone for sitting on the provincial level representations.
Thank you.
There are no educational issues on this agenda. We are on to finance warrant number 4 of October 31st, 2024. And the motion reads that, right, that the finance warrant number 4 dated October 31st, 2024 be accepted as presented. And have a mover, trustee McMahon, and seconded by trustee Harper. All those in favor? So moved. And on to committee reports. 15A, Core Professional Development Committee, trustee Gladys.
Okay, I attended November 18th core Cody committee on Teams. It's really interesting. There's such an amazing group. There was some updates on collaboration and on mentor grants, which I think are so important. When teachers collaborate together, they become more effective and they grow as educators. And also the mentor grants are when a new teacher works with a more experienced teacher and growth happens as well. So really good discussions about that. There was also some discussion on the workshops running for this month, literacy and educational technology in particular. And there was discussion about the March 31st Indigenous Day of Learning, Indigenous Focused Day of Learning to be held at Timberline. So I hope we get an invite for that. I'll have to see about that. There was also some discussion about actually the finer details about Carol Fullerton's work, which will be happening in schools here in this district with 2 sessions on each of the district Pro-D days. So really good stuff happening that has to do with our need to improve our numeracy score, achievement scores. Let me see, discussion took place about improvements to school Pro D allocations where schools can apply for additional funding. So there's a real initiative to make sure that Pro D happens for everyone who needs it and that it becomes central to the professional learning that happens in this district. So overall, a great meeting. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Trustee Gladish. On to a committee report from the District Parent Advisory Council or Committee AGM.
Yes, being that it was an AGM, it was short. I think the district people are really looking to try and build up their capacity within the district, looking for more participation. It's always challenging for young families with children and so many other things on the go to get that kind of intensive commitment to PACs and then DPACs as being reps from their different school PACs. But both Superintendent Jeff and District Director of Instruction Stephen were there and were able to answer. I think parents were very happy to hear input around our literacy plan and about the coming numeracy plan and about the challenges, and that some of them expressed what some of their concerns have been or their appreciations were for that kind of attention. It was quite a short meeting, but I think it was quite productive in terms of communication that was able to take part between the district's business and objectives and parents who were there.
Thank you, Trustee McMahon. On to committee reports, BCSTA Trustee Academy, and my name is beside it, but Vice Chair Gillis is going to report on this.
Yeah, it was indeed an honor to attend this with the other 59 school districts, and we had our representation from Superintendent Manning and Secretary Treasurer Patrick, and many of our trustees were able to participate. And I think we were all in agreement. It was one of certainly the best we had been to, in that it was very inspiring. There was a wonderful reorganization of the sessions so that every speaker or every breakout group was experienced by every team. You mentioned that we were, the theme was Illuminate, and I want everyone to know that we were designated as lanterns. And so we traveled together as a group and we felt very proud of being representative of our district. I also wanted to just, before I mention some of the sessions, express our gratitude to so many people throughout the province who came up to various people in our group from Campbell River. They were conscious of the fire. So many groups that reached out and said, if there's anything we can do, certainly a Francophone district that has representatives who have students in our school district were very, very forthcoming with any level of support. So it really made us feel that we had a strong team on the ground here, and that thoughts were with us as a district. We began with a pre-conference around artificial intelligence, AI, and had a really thoughtful 3 hours that showed us, I think, in many ways, not to be afraid of AI, but to look at how we can capitalize on enhancing opportunities for students to learn, to use it as a tool. And as one of our trustees noted earlier, it's really important for us to look at some of our policy and our use around AI so that we are being very mindful and very intentional in applications. I learned how to plan my Christmas trip simply by asking what I should do in a certain place, and it came up with 12 different exciting things. So actually, it really opened my mind to a lot of ways in which people can use that AI. And for example, they were talking about policy development. If you have a school policy that you're looking at, it will help and create some comparative policy so that you don't necessarily have to start from the ground up. But of course, we're always mindful too of being very discriminating and using our lens of scrutiny whenever we look at something that comes through from AI. The next day was wonderful in that we were introduced to a woman by the name of Shane Safir, and she talked about street data and how important it is to take a look at the voices of our students and the voices of the people that we work with to understand what works best for kind of meeting the needs of our students. We had a number of breakout sessions. You've already spoken to the highlight, certainly for us, was our own district presenting with Superintendent Manning and Natalie or Nat as a teacher representing autistic people. And she was so articulate and so impactful and so thoughtful. And we heard that from people wherever we went. She's truly a wonderful resource or treasure within our district. There was a session on provincial bargaining, and as we know, that is on the table this year. And then again, we had an opportunity to share some of the thoughts of a team from Prince George who had kind of rebuilt their school team, focusing from student needs all the way through the whole system. And finally, I just wanted to mention that we were, again, I think, invited to time with Deb Jeffries, who helped us look at implementation of guidelines in the School Act for our recognizing the new legislation and how that can impact us, and really causing us to listen, and to learn best how we can serve our Indigenous students. The final day, I should mention, was basically around the various forms of data that are available to us through HelpX, the human early learning, the early years, the middle years. And I think it made us realize that we have lots at our disposal, and now we have to figure out how to best use that to inform our practice around our students. So inspiring, tiring, but I think we've come away with a lot of optimism and excitement. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Gillis. And on to 15D, which is the Vista branch meeting report. And I'll take this one. So we do have, at our trustee academy, we do have a Vista branch meeting. So that happened on Saturday morning. We have received confirmation that SD 72 Campbell River will be hosting fall 2025 Vista here in Campbell River. It's been a number of years since we've hosted, and everyone is quite excited to come to Campbell River and witness some of the work that's being done here and spend some time in our beautiful environment. School District 72, after last meeting, we did bring forward 2 motions to Vista to ask for their support to bring to BCSTA AGM. Both were approved. So Vista, on behalf of SD 72, will be bringing forward the tech motion regarding centralization of security by the Ministry of Education, as well as potentially a new funding stream called the ATG. That's what we're naming it, but an annual tech grant to equalize access to devices in school districts across the province. So that language will continue to be honed in over the next couple of months, and we'll be speaking to it at BCSTA AGM. And overall, I really enjoyed the sharing at the end. It is very nice to hear other colleagues from around the region bubble up ideas that they're trying effectively in their school districts. I do quite enjoy the breakfast meetings. They tend to be short and to the point. And I'm looking forward to Campbell River hosting in the fall of 2025. Is there any other business?
No, but I have one question about Vista.
Sure.
Could we ask for their terms of reference so that we know what we're doing when we plan for next fall?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
I'll put that on the to-do list.
Thank you.
I think we have it somewhere. Is it on their website?
I don't know, but we need it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And also Gordon Lee is planning on attending. So he wants to come to Campbell River
Oh,
for the, Yeah.
Yes, he does.
So is there any other business? Seeing none, are there any questions from anyone present on agenda items? Good. Anyone online?
No questions that come in online.
So just in closing, thank you again to the team. I know that it's been a busy week and it's going to continue to be a busy number of weeks as we bring Carihi back online. But thank you to the staff and to the senior leadership team for doing their best for student outcomes. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I will.
Trustee? Trustee Harper, thank you very much.